Starting off with Aatrox, I put him in I'd rather not, because you can outpoke him with your own E, he just sustains too much. And every time he engages on you, he doesn't need to walk up, he can just press Q and E and hits you from a mile away. And that's why he will probably never get into your boxes, so you can't really kill him. So you probably just have to... Yes, you just have to last it with E. You basically have to last it with E, but that's nothing. He can just kill you, honestly. And I don't want to put him here because this matchup is heavily Aatrox favored. I'd put him here if he can kill you. You can't kill him, but he can kill you, and that's why I put him in I'd rather not. Next one is Akali. This is a rather difficult one because it depends on the Akali player itself. Most of the Akalis I see in my elo, they just go in, press Q another time, they never use the basic attack. They don't start shield either, most of them go dark seal for some reasons, I don't know. So you can outpoke them and sometimes even kill them, but from time to time there are some Akali top players that just ravage me. But in general I think it's okay to play this matchup. Now comes my secondary champion. I was a Camille main for a long time. I kinda still am, but yeah, I really love to play this champion. In general though, playing against Camille as Shaco is definitely a winning lane. And I'd play in an actually playable. Camille early game kinda sucks for her when you know how to play against her champion. You are just not allowed to give her any grass procs or get hit by W, and she just can't engage on you. If she decides to hookshot on you, you just stay inside your boxes, she will get feared, you can just press Q, wait up for a passive or her Q to run out if she stacked it up before. And it's always a losing trade for her. So if you die against Camille as Shaco top lane, solo, you're either playing against a Smurf or you're fucked up heavily. Cho'Gath. Fuck this matchup. Cho'Gath also sustains you with his passive, he silences you, he knocks you up, he E's you. The thing is that he can push the wave, poke you and progress at the same time with one ability, and that's also a basic attack, and you can't dodge basic attacks. I don't like playing against Cho'Gath. Honestly though, if there are other champions you can play against him, he's not that good, like Camille or Gwen or something, but with Shaco, you low-key insta-lose against him. Next one is Darius. Darius is an I'll just last it with E and pray. You can outpoke a Darius, for sure, because your E range is higher than his E and his Q range, and he can't just walk up to you and press W. If he manages to do that, it's your own fault for dying, honestly. You can just constantly throw E at him, wait until chapter, maybe go for a risk kill, maybe not, and just farm until you have the unreas, and once you finish that, you should be able to kill him if you don't die beforehand from a gank or solo. So I think Darius is actually a pretty fine matchup. Next one is Gangplank. I despise Gangplank as Shaco. I like playing Gangplank myself. I have 200k mastery points on that champion. He's really fun, but as Shaco, no. He does not need to go in on you, he can just press Q, farm minions, proc first strike, and just wins automatically because of his insanely gold efficiency. I'd say that this matchup itself isn't that bad because you can definitely kill him. You have to time his W right with your ignite, but you have the damage to kill him. Thing is, most of the Gangplank players will just stay safe and stay in the turret, or just last it with Q and you are nowhere near to reach them or to even harm them. That is if they are playing like that. If they play like, I don't know, a goddamn Aatrox and just run in and try to auto-attack you to death, you definitely win. The next one is Fiora. I'd put Fiora in I'd rather not. Most of Fiora players do not know about the box interaction with her W. But if you are matched against a Fiora that played against the champion a few times, or she is, I don't know, a bit faster brained, she can just Q into your boxes and press W while dashing. And if you are too slow, you'll just get stunned and she will most of the time kill you. That is something not all Fiora players know, but some do. And if they manage to do that, you just lose lane. That's why I put it in my Dravenot, because you can outpush a Fiora anyway in late game. Next one is Garen. I put Garen and it's okay. You don't have to fight him, you can just press E and Q away whenever he runs at you. That's not the playstyle I prefer, but it's definitely possible. Whenever he flashes on you, you have a problem, because when he hits that flash and he has Iron Spike Whip or Seekers, or Berserks, he can just one-shot you with his damage. That's a little bit insane, I know, but it's definitely possible. But it doesn't have to happen if you're fast enough. You can always ult his Q or ult his own ultimate or jump away in time. It just depends on your speed and your reaction time. I swapped the tiers real quick. I probably cut that away because I want to put Gnar into actually playable. You can always time your E with his basic attacks, so the poke you get goes down a bit. But when the Gnar is focused on actually chipping your health down, he will always win those trades. But you can kill him if you max E and trap him inside of a few Ws when you have like 2 or 3 points in that. That's definitely possible. You just have to time it correctly with your clone, because you lack the damage without your clone explosion and ignite to kill him, because he just gets super tanky from his base stats and his items. Next one is Gragas. Now this one's a tough one, because I haven't played against Gragas as Shaco yet. In 5 years I haven't had this matchup even once. Now when I think about it, I think it's just, yeah, you can kill him and he should not be able to kill you. So you probably just press E and farm boxes, and farm with your boxes, so I just put him in, it's okay. Gwen. Gwen is a tough one, because you can't really outpoke her with her W, and she will probably out-sustain you. Most of the time, Gwens start with Doran's Shield or Doran's Ring with 2 potions, and once they go back for their first item, which is most of the time a Leeching Seed, they will already have Omnivamp, and you do not have enough damage to out-sustain her damage that she sustains with. Damn, great sentence. Yes. There is a way to kill her. If she all-ins you, you cannot all-in her. You will lose that automatically because because your Q cooldown is still too high in the early game. Once she all-ins you, you can lure her into a box trap combined with ult, and you have to make sure that your clone dies from her ultimate or her Q or something. Clone has to die early for the extra burst damage, and you probably need Ignite to actually kill her. The best time to kill a Gwen is probably 6 or level 3, because level 3 Shaco damage is actually pretty huge. But other than that, you will probably just lose. In late game, mid to late game, I think you win against Gwen. I only played against Gwen like 4 times and I won all those 4 games, but I don't know how it looks like when you actually lose lane against her. I actually put her into actually playable. Next one is Illaoi. I put her in Dravenot. Playing against Illaoi in general on this patch is like, eh. She has a lot of damage, sustains a lot of her health back, and you cannot really kill her unless she fucks up. And there is a way I could Illaoi once inside my turret because she tried to dive me and used stopwatch, but most of the time you can't really do shit and you will just fall behind like 60 CS in the first 10 minutes. And you just have to pray that your team does well and that Illaoi is not pretty good, so you can just farm back up and hope for the best. Irelia. Now most of the people think I would place her until we might kill them, but I will not. I will actually put them in actually playable. The thing about Irelia is most of Irelia players are psychopaths. Now, the second issue is, not a lot of them know that they can last hit your boxes with their Q. Once they finish Bow or Vampiric or Sheen, they can just kill that shit. They can just Q on top of it and it dies because early boxes do not have any health. Now, if they know that, the matchup is pretty much lost. If they don't know that, it's playable. Now the thing is, sure, once the boxes are invisible, it doesn't matter. If she Qs on you, she is feared, she gets damage. The problem is, she can use those boxes as a gap closer to you, and if you have no Q up or no more traps further back in the tower, you will die most of the time, unless you're playing Flash or something. But you will die like 9 out of 10 times. If they know that, so you have to play really careful against Irelia. But most of the time, they do not know that shit, so you can actually play the matchup. That's why I put her in actually playable. Okay, next matchup is Jax. I don't really have to think about this one. It's okay. The issue about Jax is that his E blocks your W damage, so he can just leap jump on top of you, and he might get feared if he jumps into boxes. But if he presses E in the meantime, while he jumps on top of you, he will get not a single digit of damage. And that's why I kinda despise that champion. But I know that you can just press E and Q away instantly when he jumps on top of you, so you will never get any auto attack damage and just the Q damage. So the matchup is actually playable, but it's not that playable that you can actually get ahead of them. They have to fuck up or get cocky so you can kill them, but that will not happen most of the time. Most of Jax players will just stay in lane, last hit minions, go base, do the same thing over and over again until they hit 3 items and just roam to the other team. So I'll just put him in, it's okay. Next matchup is Jace. I hate Jace. Playing against Jace feels like cheating. Well, that he is cheating. He just pokes me down, jumps on top of you. You can press Q when he jumps on you with his own Q and get a good auto attack in on the early levels, but you will probably not kill a Jace before level 6. You need clone damage and you need a low health clone to actually kill him. Because if he notices that your clone is actually your clone and not you, or you didn't clone trap him with the timer, he will just run away and kills you with his range. So it's an okay matchup, but once again, it depends on the enemy Jace not knowing how the matchup works. Now we have Kayle. That's an interesting one. It's an okay matchup. Most of the time, some Kayles will get cocky because of your weak early game. Because the only thing you can do is place boxes into the wave and create a slow push into your lane when the wave hits the tower. Most of the Kayles just go with it. They last it on the tower, they don't really take the risk. Some do, and when they do, you can actually jump them with your own Q and clone trap them with tower damage. But this will probably not work, because they set up their own ultimate, they can most of the time survive. So you have to ask a jungler to kill the Kayle, and every jungler should kill a Kayle, because if Kayle gets to scale, you just lose the game. But since Kayle herself cannot really do anything, I put her in it's okay, because you scale a bit faster than she does, but she hits harder in the late game. Now we have Kennen. We might actually kill the Kennen. All you can do is auto attack us and Q us, and you should never get hit by Q if you have minions or your W. You can easily block his Q with your own box. And he has to run into you to actually deal damage with his W and with his E and with his ultimate. And you can use that to your advantage with your clone and your boxes. You can always place a box behind him when he rushes towards you and clone, because the clone will die before you when he presses Maelstrom. Or so his ultimate. So you can actually kill him with a great burst of damage in the early game. Most of the time you will kill him with level 6 or poke him down until level 5 and then kill him with Q E Ignite. Next one is Kled. I'd rather not. The issue with Kled is that he's a barely played champion, and I for myself cannot really play against him because I cannot. I can't really calculate his damage, you know? That's the issue I have. And the thing is, he marks you with his E, and when one E hits you, you cannot Q because he will follow you. Now, you can use that to your advantage, because when you go invisible, and because it doesn't give true vision, you can still Q away, and most of the time he will follow you with his E. And you can use that to jump into your own boxes, and he will most of the time land inside of 3 boxes and get a huge lot of damage. But he will not die. And that's a problem. Because if the Kled does not die, he will just remount and he will get his HP back, but he won't. And that's the problem of this lane. You can kill him, but you need at least 3 traps. You cannot max E because you need W damage. And you need a proper clone damage with Ignite to actually kill him in lane. Unless he will just out-sustain you and push you with Tiamat, and in the worst case he will just roam mid lane or bot lane and kill your team. Next one is K'Sante. I hate this champion. I put him, I want to Gangplank Q myself in game. Can outpoke him. You can kill him with W. The only thing you can do is dodge his ultimate with your own ultimate and pray that he didn't catch the right one. You might be able to kill him with tower damage, but most of the time players will just not go near you when you are in tower. So, that won't happen. Malphite. I'd rather not. The issue with Malphite is you can't go W max because he won't touch you until you would kill range. He will just throw shards at you and poke you down. The next issue is that your E has more cooldown than his passive shield. So once you E him, shields goes away. You might be able to get a second E in until level 6. Until level 6 his passive is too fast. In his shield we always come back before your E until late game, until you have finished like 3 items or something and your E has only 4 seconds cooldown. You might be able to kill him when he gets a bit cocky and tries to kill you with his own ultimate, so you have to play on it, you have to get poked, so you're at like 300 health and you have to dodge his ultimate with your own ultimate, so the clone dies from his EQ combo and his auto attack, and you have to align like 3 boxes in a triangle to actually get him killed with Ignite. But you need every resource to have to actually kill him, but that will not happen most of the time. Next one is Mordekaiser. Now where do I put this fucker? I'd actually say I want to Gangplank Q myself. Now the issue with this is you cannot go W max. Well, you have to go W max, but it won't do anything. The only thing you can do is last hit minions in the tower with it, or push the first 3 waves. But you cannot match Mordekaiser damage. You can outpoke him because of his shield and his sustain through his shield. And he probably has storage shield as well. When he ults you, your clone goes away and your entire box setup goes away as well. And when you ult in his ultimate or place any traps in his ultimate and you get out of the death frame, those things will just disappear. So you lose your clone, you lose your traps, you lose everything in death frame when you leave it. And you can't really out damage him, so the only thing you can do is pray, try not to die while last hitting, and hope that your jungler manages to help other lanes accept you. Next one is Mundo. I like playing against Mundo. The thing with Mundo is, despite the champion being healthy as fuck, he is actually one of the easiest matchup to play against. You poke him with E to stack mana flow, you max your W, push the waves in, you just push because he can't actually kill you except when you make a mistake. Whenever he tries to all in you, you take the fight, but you have always boxes prepared in the back because he went W max. So you can just take the trade, lure him into the traps, ignite him when he ults, and kill him with the burst damage because you still have high burst damage with 3-point E and your ult damage. So that's actually pretty easy. You can always block his cleaver with your W, just don't get hit by the cleaver. Don't trade with him when he has his W on, so the electric thing, and you should be fine. Nasus. I hate this matchup. I hate this champion. I hate this champion since I started playing League 6 years ago or 7 years ago. I hated him for the entire time and I cannot stand to play against him. Nasus last hits your boxes with his Q. You give him stacks, you lose mana, you lose resources, you lose everything. He sustains back with his passive and the items he bought. He pokes you with his E. He ghosts you dead. You cannot auto-attack him because of his wither and you can't run away because of his wither. Nasus, pure lane counter, you can't do anything against him. I hate it. The only thing to kill a Nasus is when he tower dives you and you have like stopwatch, ult, and clone up, and ignite him. And you cancel 3 of his basic attacks. That's the only way to kill the Nasus. And with your jungler, of course, but most of the time the Nasus is already too far ahead, and he will just double kill you, and then you will get flamed. So, don't do that. Next up is Olaf. I think Olaf is playable. That is until you hit level 6. You can actually kill Olaf before level 6 because you have high damage on those the early 3 levels. And you can just push the waves in with your W and do an early reset for Mana Crystal, Dark Seer, or Mana Crystal, and refillable potion. And most of the time those Olafs will not play teleport, they will play Ghost Flash. And just try to run you down and flash if necessary. And you can always use the box level 3 if they do not avoid it to Q, Ignite, E-Jump them and burst them for like 500 damage. Or rather 400 damage because most when they have MR and a lot of health. So you can always kill them on level 3 when you poke them. You have to go Emax in this matchup because you will not have enough damage with your boxes to actually threat him. And now comes the biggest problem. When he hits 6, he just runs through that shit. He won't get feared, he won't stay inside those boxes. You will not have any time from your boxes because of his ultimate, because he's unstoppable. And let's not forget his huge damage spike when he presses that shit. That's why you go Emax and try to poke him down before you hit 6. Even when you're 3 kills ahead, once you hit 6, you're already in kill range. Olaf can always kill you when you are Shaco on level 6. You can't do nothing about that. He will always kill you if you're not careful. Okay, next champion is Ornn. Now the thing with Ornn is, you can't kill him. He can't really kill you. You push waves with W. He takes the wave. Farms gold. Crafts items. You go base. Get your items. Yes, it's really just like that. You can compare him with Gragas pretty easily. The problem about Ornn is he will benefit his team more than you do yours. Because of his better items, because of item equipment. Just a better champion in general, and that's why he's better in the tier, but you should never die against Ornn. You can just start Mana Crystal on Shaco when you play against him and get early chapter. You can do that, you don't have to, it's up to you. Doesn't matter. Pantheon. Now, Pantheon is a problem. This matchup actually depends on your reaction time. You can try to poke him down. I wouldn't recommend that. I would always go W max against Pantheon. You place your traps close to you, and whenever he tries to stun you or poke you down, you have to Q away. It's really important that you not get hit by a spear, because the spear deals insane damage and has like no cooldown. And whenever he tries to jump you, you have also to Q away. Whenever he jumps you, you have to Q away. So you don't get any damage from his auto attacks and his spear. And that's why you have to place your boxes close to you, so he gets jumped by the boxes and gets a bit more extra damage. And that's how you have to kill him. You have to chip him down slowly with your boxes. And once you have 6 and he's like half-life or at like 30% HP, you can kill him with Clone Explosion. And that's why you have to time your clone with Ignite so you can actually kill him. Because most of the time, Pantheons will not attack your clone because you are already ignited. And that's why they can separate you. Next one on the list is Poppy. Now I haven't played against Poppy that often in the past few years. But I think I would rather not play against Poppy. I think she outpokes you with her buckler. And whenever you cannot get that shit back, you will just lose HP. Those HP trades. She will automatically push you in with her Q spell, and she will most of the time just lose all the trades because you can't really take any trades in general. You have to go W max for the wave, or you just will never get any CS whenever she pushes you at the tower. And the thing about this matchup is she's a tank. She's a high value tank with her W block. So you do not really want to play against Poppy when you're Shaco. But she's not worth a ban, so it's just unfortunate matchup. It's not that bad. It's not good at all. I'd rather not play against her. Now, Quinn on the other hand. I like to play against Quinn. The thing with Quinn is, most of the Quinn players are really fucking aggressive because they have to be. An aggressive player means you can poke them, you can place W and go for risky plays, because the Quinn will always try to kill you when she sees the opportunity. So she will fly at you, try to E you, most of the time even flash on top of you, so you can not get away. And if she does that, you can always place a trap behind her and kill her with her clone trap. Because she actually deals with her Q a lot of AoE damage, or with her Sky Strike, and they don't really know which one is the right one. And even if they know, most of the time you have enough burst damage to actually burst her down. Because Quinn is not healthy at all, she does not have a lot of HP. And if you have a W max or even 2 points in E, and if you get that thing from the back, you can always kill her with Ignite, E, plus box and clone damage, and your general auto attack damage with Q maxed up. That always works out. Of course, it's risky. It's high risk, high reward. It's a high risk, high reward matchup, but you can always win this lane. Next one is Renekton. I don't like playing against Renekton. The thing is, he sustains so much. He's so strong in the early game. He kills all your boxes with his AoE damage. You can't really kill him unless he tries to tower dive you and you're fast enough to dodge his W, or the auto attacks and the damage after his W once you queued it. But I think it's just I'd rather not. It's not that complicated. The champion is just I just don't like it. Riven, on the other hand, is actually a playable matchup. Now, Riven is only a playable matchup if you haven't died yet. As long as it's 0-0, you're fine. Once she gets that first kill, you're fucked. Riven snowballs super hard. You can go W max or E max, it really doesn't matter, it depends on your playstyle. Against Riven, I prefer to go W, because they will always try to kill you with their flashy combos, and most of the time flash on top of you. And if you are inside your circle, you will always win that trade. Now, the only thing you have to watch out is the early levels, like 1 and 2. On level 3, you win. On level 6, you win as well if you don't fuck it up. But on level 1 and 2, that's where most of the players die against Riven, she will just one combo you with her Q. You have to be really fucking careful, and I'd recommend not even stepping to the wave when you do not see her. If she doesn't take the CS, she's either camping in a bush waiting for you to step up, or leashing your jungler. Either way, it's bad for you. If you have the opportunity, don't press the box in the wave. Place it behind you so you have backup, in case she tries to level 1 cheese you. But do not push the wave. If you push the wave against Riven, you will most of the time just die. Don't do it. Rumble. I hate Rumble. Rumble sucks. Playing against Rumble feels like just really bad. He presses Flamethrower, you can't run away from him because he has the same movement speed as you and automatically outranges you with it. You can't go, you have to go E-Max to kinda get last hits because he just kills your boxes. He pokes you down with his E and with his Flamethrower. He has better auto attacks than you when he's overheated. He has a shield. All this damage. Rumble is just a better champion than you. Don't try it, don't play it. Bad lane. Ew. Next one is Sett. Sett is an okay matchup. You can try to go W max. E max doesn't really work because we just regenerated because of his passive and Orange Shield and his Vampire Acceptor. You have to bait him into all-inning. You need a tower. You need at least 1 to 2 tower shots to kill him, or a bigger W setup to actually do damage to him. The one thing that's important is you have to dodge his Q damage or his W damage. If you get hit by one of those, it's over for you. Most of the sets will play Ignite top lane and you will die from like 4 auto attacks, Ignite, EW. You're just dead. There's not really anything you can do about it as Shaco. And you can't really trade back because you don't have trading spells, so you need your setup. So what you need to do is you have to press clone, bait him into auto you into your boxes, and press clone once you get out, so he attacks your clone because he didn't know that you ulted and Q away. Or in a different way, you have to Q away and clone after it, so he thinks that your Q ran out, and he attacks the clone, but in reality, you still have your Q not up, and you can kill him afterwards. But it always depends on the Sett player, how fast they are thinking. Next one on the list is Shen. I'd rather not play against Shen. He has better trading patterns, he outdamages you, and he outsustains you. I do prefer to go W max against Shen, but you don't have to do that. Most of the time playing against Shen, I just push waves, make sure to communicate with my team whenever he tries to ult or when he hits level 6, and just take the tower as fast as possible whenever he is away. Or when he is somewhere else, when he ulted or teleported somewhere. That's really the only thing you can do against him. Now, if the Shen tries to kill you, for which you should always be prepared, you always should have a backup with your boxes. But most of the time you just want to push and push and push. Singed. Disgusting champion. Singed isn't really laning against you, it's just proxying all the time. So you can just go W max, clear the waves and farm. It's not that bad for you, but it's also not good because he will automatically outfarm you and gets ahead of you. And when a Singed gets ahead, he will most of the time just roam and kill your team. And that's bad, so you have to hope that you can make some plays or catch him with your jungler. It's not that bad because you are not really laning against him, but giving Singed free farm is never good. Sion on the other hand. Sion is actually playable. Now you would think that because he knocks your boxes away, you will automatically lose. And I thought that as well. And then I remembered I have another spell on my kit. You win the early levels against Sion. Always. You can just place W in the wave. He can't really do anything about it. If you auto-attacks the boxes, you auto-attack him with backstab. He loses the trade because he will not have enough damage to kill the box. He does not have enough attack speed for that. He needs Q, and if he hits Q, you can still auto-attack him because he has no W shield. If he goes W, you will just cancel the W, and you will still win the trade. So you can always kill Sion on level 1 to 3. Always. Always. Well, 99% of the time, that is. If they play really safe, you can, obviously, but most of the time you can. Once you hit level 6, though, it's something different. You have to dodge his out with your own. Or time it like that his ultimate will crash into your clone and he kills him with his Q afterwards. When you go Emax, you can always outpoke him once he finishes his first item. And when he finishes his first item, which most of the time is a Shaco or a Howlbreaker or a Prada's Claw, you can still outpoke him. If you have W max, you will mostly die after he finishes his first item because he just outdamages and stat checks you after that. But until that, you can still go E and kill him most of the time. That works. It just works. Next on the list is Tahm Kench. It's actually the same as Ornn. You can't really do shit. He farms, he outsustains you. If you get hit by his Q, he heals himself. You can either go W max, Q max, W max, E max, or Q max. It doesn't matter. You just farm. He farms. You might get ganked. He might kill you. You might get away. It's really just a farming lane at this point. Teemo. Depends on the build. If it's a tank Teemo, you can't kill him. If it's an AP Teemo, you can kill him. You just have to play again. You just have to play around your tower damage because most Teemos will always get one tower shot at least. And you have to time your clone because Teemo is a really squishy champion. And when you manage to climb to time clone explosion while he's doing something else, you could always kill him with box and with E ignite damage. That most of the time will work out because they are not full health at that point because you poked him with your E. That's why you go E max in this matchup. I'd still rather not play against him, but most of those matchups are just Now Tryndamere. Confession time. I hate playing against Tryndamere. I despise that champion with a fiery passion just like Nasus. I think he's really stupid and really unskilled and really unbalanced. Now, as a Shaco player though, where I have to rank those things because of their stats and because of their matchups and how they play against each other, I'd say it's actually playable. I'd rather say you can actually kill him. Because Tryndamere will always auto-attack you and Illaoi and sustains with Q. And if you do not die, you can always fight him, but he will most of the time survive. Now the thing is, if you manage to trap him in several boxes, or he has to run away and runs into another box because you planned that out, then you can kill him. Unless you do that, you won't be able to kill him because he will just run away with a ghost plus ultimate and just heals back up, go base, runs back to lane, presses Q again, presses E again, and once he finishes Navori, you're just done. There isn't really anything you can do about that. But until then, you can actually play that lane. Now, Urgot is a bit special. Most of the time, Urgot is just wave control. You can outpoke him with his E, with your E, because he has like no sustain at all. Most of the time, they will just build Gorging, Strikebreaker. That's the name of the shitty item. And yeah, there's nothing really they can do about it. You just press E. You have to watch out for the E flash because that's pretty dangerous. Once they hit you, you are dead. You're definitely dead. But if you don't get hit, you survive. So it's an okay matchup. Volibear. You barely play against Volibear at the time on top lane. The matchup is because you can't really out-sustain him. He has shield most of the time, and if you try to melee him, he heals from his W and out-damages you. So it's an I'd rather not. Warwick is actually playable. You have the only opportunity you have to kill him is on the early levels, because he will just kill you on level 6 when you don't watch out. You have to trap him in 2 boxes and kill him with Q Ignite. So you have to go E max, not W max. You only use W for the CC. Because you have more of them, the damage is still reasonable, but you need your E damage before they execute. So you have to Q behind him whenever he Qs on top of you. So you lead him into your boxes. He's CC'd because he's feared. You Q behind him, you ignite him, auto attack, E, another auto attack. He should be dead by then. If he's not, run away because the wolf is coming to kill you, and he will do that. Because you have still 9 seconds cooldown on your Q and he's fast as fuck. So if that doesn't work, you're dead. Yasuo. Yasuo is an okay matchup because he cannot really kill you unless he ults you or he ignites you and you got outplayed. But he always has to use his ultimate for a finisher. And if he does that, you can always ult before he manages to get Q or an auto attack out. You can always ult after his ult's finish. So you just have to spam that button and you should survive. And when you do that and you manage to actually bait him into your boxes, because Yasuo ult will not get cancelled when he's inside of box trap, like 4 boxes or 3 boxes. Most of the time it's 3 boxes because the other ones will run out. You can kill him because he will automatically attack the Shaco that is visible most of the time. So Clone Explosion, that's like flat 250 damage. The clone boxes, that deals another 100 damage. The other 3 boxes that are shooting at him currently. Plus, you can Q behind him, E, ignite, auto attack, dead. If that doesn't work out, he's probably better than you and you're fucked. Last 2. Yon. You can't kill Yon. You just can't. Well, of course you can, but you can only kill him if he fucks up or something. You cannot outpoke him because of his natural sustain. He has W, he has Torrents, he probably has Bloodline as well. You can't trade him because of his E and his W and his lethal tempo. So you can't go W max either, because once he hits you, he just E's back and you have no damage at all. The way you have to kill him is you have to stay in the tower and bait him into ulting you. Fate Sealed is probably the worst ability for him to use against Shaco lane, because you can just R his ultimate and the clone will get stunned, but you won't. And if he R's you, you have to be low HP, because you won't R you if you aren't low HP. So you have to Q behind him or wherever where his Q doesn't hit you. So he kills the clone on the tower, and then you can kill him with the fear. That's the only way you can survive your own all-in and might be able to kill him. Unless you won't be able to do that solo. You always need help from someone else. Last champion. Yorick. No way in hell. You can't really play against Yorick. He outsustains you, he outpokes you with his ghouls. When he goes to Fidelity, he does it 100%. Even when he doesn't, he still out-damages you with his ghouls because those fuckers do a lot of damage. You can kill them with a W because they get less damage from AoE spells. And you have to auto-attack them or last hit them with E. But then you don't have any spells for the Yorick, and you can never attack him, you can never Q on him, you always need Q to get out because of his cage. If enemy picks Yorick into Shaco top lane, you basically lost lane and champ select. You can't do anything against that guy. It just straight up doesn't work. Okay, guys, as you can see, I switched it up a little bit. I moved the S tier so kind of one to the side. I decided to actually move Sion to the top of actually playable tier because most of the times it's just a really easy matchup. And I swapped all the other tiers kind of around to get a little bit more specific. And yeah, this was the tier list. I hope you enjoyed the video, even though my nose still fucks me up and I sound like shit. I'm sorry for the heavy editing. If you have any complaints or critique or just want to say something, leave a comment down below. I read every comment I get. I really appreciate that. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. You can subscribe if you want more Shaco content. Of course, you don't have to. It will most of the time just get on your recommended side anyway. But I would really appreciate that. It helps the channel with the growth. And yeah, I see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.